NBA commissioner Adam Silver says that the NBA is aiming to return July 31st.
This I don't get. You're going to have to explain this to me. I'm not going to understand this. Today is the end of May. You're not going to bring back the NBA. Did you say July 31st?
That is correct.
And the 2020 season is going to be resumed in some form or fashion.
Which leads me to believe it'll probably just be playoff teams.
But wait a second. That's 2 months from now.
Huh?
Wait, what?
You need like you need 8 weeks. You need 8 weeks to condition your body for a high-level NBA game. So maybe Alex is correct, and they plan on going the playoffs because if you do not have proper conditioning, you will sustain injuries, soft tissue injuries, because guys are not prepared to play that hard after shutting it down for so long. And so I think that's why they're announcing that date so far ahead, because they're going to start letting guys in facilities, and they're going to starting training camps soon.
I think that's a long time to wait. I mean, I'll just give you an example.
It is.
I mean, we talked about 1090 earlier, right? We're trying to get 1090 on the air as fast as possible, as professionally as possible, but as fast as possible, because we want to be on the air to coincide with potentially baseball having come back, NFL training camps, NHL hockey playoffs, sports, And if you're the NBA, you're going to lose me. I got to wait, not 2 weeks, not 4 weeks, not to say, hey, 4th of July, we're back, Americana, apple pie. You mean to tell me you're going to wait 8 weeks, the end of July? Because once August starts, and I don't know what's going to happen with baseball, my prediction, they won't play, and football is getting ready to start. The NBA, late in their season, in the early part of the NFL season, I don't necessarily understand why it takes 8 weeks. And John, I hear what you're saying about, the athletes and getting their bodies conditioned.
Yeah.
But dude, if it's going to take 8 weeks to get basketball players back on the court, now you understand, I think, why baseball players aren't exactly jumping back out onto the field.
Yeah, it's also interesting, though, because I do think that the NBA listens to the players of more than any other league in the world, honestly. I really do think it's a player-driven league. I think the players' voices are a lot more heard in the NBA than any other sport, and especially over baseball. But it is interesting because that's a long time. I know you guys don't follow soccer, but they literally just got the green light to start training individually, I would say 10 days ago. And now the English Premier League, which is the biggest soccer league in the world, is starting June 17th. That's 2.5 weeks away. So they literally are only getting about 3 to 4 weeks.
This is what I would say, because my experience in basketball as opposed to other sports, what I can say is when I watch people play soccer, the action isn't as rapid on the entire court. There are parts of the soccer field where you can jog, where you can stand. In a basketball game, it is unlikely that a person will really be able to just stand on one end of the court while a full game is going on in another part of the court. And so I think players want to do this safely, and I think that is the hold on for why it's going to take so long.
How long is so when training camp starts? Isn't that in September, right, or August? And in a regular season, September. And then they're playing games in October,
late October.
And yeah, so it's really like 6-7 weeks of training camp for a regular season.
But I don't think there's going to be any I don't think there's going to be any preseason games. I don't think there's going to be none of that stuff that you usually have to tune your body up in a preseason game, where a guy like LeBron would play 5 minutes in the first quarter and 5 minutes in the third quarter just to get his body ramped up. I think they're going to jump right into the pool and start swimming.
Do you guys, this is a whole different conversation. Okay, July 31st, whatever. That's a long time. 2 months is a long time. But do you guys think that they're going to come back with just the 16 playoff teams, or do you think they're going to come back with all 32 teams?
I mean, I would have a really hard time believing that they're going to come back and pick up the regular season in in August.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that they just tipped their hand that they're going to go with some modified playoff system or with just the 16 teams that are currently in it.
Well, they're going to have to tell people pretty soon, because if you're one of the 16 teams that's not going to be in it, do you need to be going?
You need to know.
Yeah.
I think there's going to probably be some form of single game elimination for like the last maybe 2 one or two spots because there's some pretty prominent names right now being left out of the playoff picture. And so I think they're going to give Zion, Damian Lillard. There's some guys. Yeah, they want to get these guys in for the big bang effect of television. And so I think they're going to give those guys an opportunity to make the playoffs. And after that, listen, I think they're also doing it with this long of a run-up in case a guy gets COVID, so they can know what to do. They will know how to address the situation. I think a lot of the run-up will be for just-in-case situations. I think they're planning for all things in front of them. That's why they're doing such a long run-out to the actual pickup of the season.
I think it's a big, big window of time. It's been 70 plus days since the NBA has played, and it's going to be another 60 plus days. I mean, that's a full off season, just to get back into playing.
But there's going to be some stuff going on, and I believe there will be things happening in July, whether it's not preseason games, but there will be basketball on our television somehow in July.
They're going to give you access like you've never had access before to these practices. I think this gives them 2 months of television conversation. I think they're going to carry the airwaves on all the sports stations, all the networks, all the TV shows, all the conversations, because it will be a live sport participating in the public sphere, so to speak. So I like it. More NBA talk for me.